Hi guys, this is Kathleen from Breezy Creations. Just an FYI, we were having some technical difficulties with Michelle, obviously, so she's got me doing this by myself. Yay me. I think it was a ploy. She kind of tricked me into this, but if y'all will stick with me, I will do this tonight. We are creating something pretty awesome. For those of you who are new to me in this area, obviously all of you are, since this is my first live, we will be using a Unique in the Creek triangle board tonight. This is what this is. You can get them at uniqueinthecreek.com. You can also get them at your local Michael's. Some people have it. So if you go to Michael's, make sure you use the 40% off coupon. You'll be able to get this board. So this is made of 100% recycled plastic. I have already what they call preloaded my board. What that means is I have taken my zip ties. As you can see, all the holes, they're set 2 by 2 here. So I have taken my zip ties through the holes and already preloaded so that you hear this little click sound. That's going to make it a little bit easier as you're doing the tree tonight. Anybody that is interested in learning, obviously there's a ton of videos. This is my first one, but you can check out the videos on uniqueinthecreek.com and they'll be more than happy to help you with all of that. So to give you an idea of what we're doing, one of the projects, if you look in the back, we'll show you again. The wreath in the back, the blue and silver and white in the back, that's called a Trisha petal. It is new from Unique in the Creek this past week. Miss Lori debuted it. Hi guys, thank you for following me. This is going to be really intense. Thank you so much for Michelle for getting me into this. But tonight we are going to do the Trisha petal, but we are going to be using it on that Unique in the Creek triangle board. I'm trying to make matching sets for everything. So what we're going to do, as you're going to start, you will need 2 rolls of deco mesh. Any 2 colors that complement each other at 10-inch deco mesh. So what you're going to do with your deco mesh, I'm going to tilt y'all down just a touch. What you're going to do with your deco mesh is cut it at 10 inches. So it'll be 10 by 10 squares. You will need, like I said, 2 complete rolls at that. You're going to need a total of 65 pieces, and with those 2 rolls you will get that. I am using the ice blue and the white tonight. The reason I'm doing that is I also picked this ribbon. I don't know if anybody can see it because I'm really, really bright. But with this ribbon, I have the gray, and it's got the ice blue and the white running through it. So with that being said, I think that that'll match really well. The Trisha flower itself behind me is done with 100% ribbon. It doesn't have any deco mesh added, but for the tree, I wanted it to be just a touch thicker. And that's why we're doing that tonight. And like I said, we're just matching it up a little bit. So we're going to get started. We're going to start with our deco mesh. I'm going to bring y'all down and explain as I go. If I miss comments, I am so sorry, because like I said, this is brand new to me and y'all are scrolling by. Thank you for all being here, but it's scrolling really, really fast. I see Michelle. I know this is a... Thank you, Michelle. I do need you. You're doing this to me on purpose. Thanks so much. I love it. I appreciate it. But we're going to tilt. I want y'all to see what I'm doing and how I'm going to create this petal. So we're going down. Are y'all ready? Maybe? And here we go. Here's the board. All right. We're not going board. This is why I needed Michelle. So we're going down just a little bit, guys. I'm going to scoot that up. Can y'all see me? Can you see the fold? Okay, 10 by 10. Hi. 10 by 10 deco mesh. What we're going to do, we're going to take it corner to corner. So it kind of folds down into like a triangle. Y'all see what we're doing? And then we're going to take this top corner right here. Fold it down. Take your opposite corner. Fold it down. So it makes like, kind of pull it. See how it's got the little points? Now right here where you see the 2 opposite corners, you're basically just going to scrunch from these 2 little corners to corners, and it's going to create a petal like this. Okay? Now I always measure my petals so that y'all can see it. I'll do it a little bit more over here. I always make mine 4 inches, especially when I'm doing a tree board. or a triangle board, as Lori likes to say. So I'll put it on the 8, measure it to the 12. I normally have my rubber bands in here, but we also had to shift locations of the rooms because the grandkids are here tonight, so I do apologize for that too. So when you have this, and I usually pre-make all of mine, it's really, really simple. You're going to take it and flip it over. Here's your board. Going to just put it in. You can cut it first, and I tend to like to cut it first. Cut off the tails. See? So that you have this little. Put it into your board, and all you're going to do is just zip tie it shut. You don't have to do it really, really tight. I'm going to end up, I'm showing you how to do this, but I'm going to end up basically taking this one out because I like to add my ribbons as I go. I prep all of mine. Here's the rubber bands I was talking about. So I prep them all, so that way I can just go ahead and put them in and go ahead and lay my ribbons across the top, and then I don't have to use quite as many zip ties, and it kind of also cuts down a little bit on the time and that it takes, and you're not messing with your mesh or your ribbons a whole lot. I'm reading, sorry. Hi, Rosie. Oh, look, my daughter's on. She's yelling at me, guys. She's been trying to get me to do a live video now for our page for quite some time, and I wouldn't even do a tutorial for her. And needless to say, here I am going live out of nowhere. So she is probably a little bit aggravated with me, but she will also get over it. So what we're going to do, for those of you that are watching, I'm going to clip this one out for a minute. All right, just so that I can show you what we're talking about. I'm going to move this for a minute because I also want to show you the ribbons. Now, the Trisha petal. Okay, first of all, I'm using 1.5 inch ribbon. When you're doing it just with the ribbon itself, no deco mesh underneath it. If you're just making like a large Trisha flower, then what you will end up doing is using the 2.5 inch ribbon. It does a whole lot better. It'll cover, you know, but I wanted a little bit of my deco mesh showing underneath, like I said, to kind of accent and make it look more of like the tree a little bit more. So I'm using the 1.5 inch in the same color scheme to get the same effect. Okay. Now, with your ribbons, I have taken my ribbons. I've used 2 complete rolls of ribbons, 30-foot ribbons, and I've cut them. Because my measurement on the petals are only 4 inches, I only cut my ribbon to 11. All right. So at the 11 inches, y'all can see this or not, because I can't tell if you can see anything. So at the 11 inches here, so here's the 6 going up to the 17. The way you're going to cut the Trisha petal is you're going to go from 6, start here at your 8. You're basically going to measure off 2 inches, okay? Well, you would need a pen, and yet again, I've had to move locations, so I don't even have a pen in here. Oh, I do. Just make a little bitty line just to mark where your 2 inches are, okay? So from the line that you cut up to the corner, this corner up here, is how you're going to do that. And you're just going to cut. And I normally do it by 4, but I wanted y'all to be able to see what I was doing. So that it cuts like this. Okay? You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, measuring it off at 2 inches. So I'm going to put it back, like put it on 14. Make a little line right here on 12. Please make sure when you're doing that, you're not marking all over your ribbon, because you don't want everybody in the world to be able, you know, to see where you've marked it with the pen, for one. And also make sure that you're cutting it in the same direction. That's, trust me, I made that mistake when I made the flower behind me. So you're going to, again, here is your cut. Here's your 2 inch mark. You're just going to start at that 2 inch mark, and you're going to go straight up to the corner. Okay. And then you end up with a petal like this. That's how your ribbon's going to look, okay? Now, when you're doing and inserting your petal, and I cannot get this thing to be right. So when you're inserting your petal, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to go right to the middle. So if we've got an 11 inch, basically 5.5 inch, and you're going to scrunch the ribbon. Now you can either fold it this way so that your points go like this, and then it would, or you can choose to fold it the opposite direction, still from the middle, and then you're basically going to end up with more of like a V in the middle, okay? Now, it's your choice, but make sure once you make a decision on whichever way you want your petal to go, whether you want it to go, they all need to go that way. Okay, so your choice on how you want it to go. I'm personally going to do it the other way because that's how I did it previously. So I'm going to do it more like this all the way across my board. And the reason I'm doing that, because you see how it's got that little bit of opening in the middle? That's where I'm going to be able to let the deco mesh show out just a little bit as we're going. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. As I said, I have cut all of my ribbon, and we're going to alternate. So here's my board. So if you're going to, I'm going to go with the white. So if I'm going to do the white, I obviously, for my own personal choice, don't want to put, when I do like this ice blue, you see this ice blue? I obviously don't want to put ice blue on ice blue. So every time I do my white, I'm going to use one of the ribbons that's more of, that's kind of got the little white icicles going through it. Just to, okay? See, so when we're doing this one, because that way when I'm doing the white, it pops this way. Makes sense? So we're going to start putting it together. I've got my preloaded that I've already done. I remember, like I said, I've cut them down to 4 inches and cut off the tails. I've used rubber bands. You don't have to. You can put them straight in the board, however you want to do it. So we're going to go ahead and put it into the zip tie hole. I've already got the one ribbon ready that we did. So we're just going to lay it on top, like so. If you notice, you've got about an inch over the top of it. That's going to let that zip tie get secured. And I'm not going to secure it completely tight right now, because I'll come back later and I will use my zip tie gun, which is in the other room. So today we will be using just my pliers, and we will go that way. But I will come back and tighten them all. Okay? So we're going to move on to the next color, just so that y'all can kind of sort of see. And look, y'all let me be talking, and look what I did. I put the wrong colors again. See what happens? This is what happens. Thanks, Michelle. This is why I didn't want to go live. Look at me already making mistakes, but it's okay. It'll be fine. All right, so we're going to put the ice blue, and the ice blue gets, my husband's coming in here. Oh, he brought my zip tie gun. Yeah, you want to bring me my, hey. I lost him. I was hoping he'd bring me my zip ties too, since I keep cutting and making mistakes. Oh, hi Danielle. Sorry, I'm really new to this, so all of these little comments that are flying by that I have no clue, I'm hoping Michelle will answer them for me as I'm going along, because I don't. You want to bring me my zip ties too on the table? I have a great husband, guys. He's watching my live so he can hear everything that I'm saying. But anyway, we are making a unique in the tree, using the unique in the tree creek triangle board. Thanks, honey. And we are actually making a tree using the Nutritia petal. That's what this is. But I'm also kind of accenting a little bit with the deco mesh. Okay. Thanks, Bree. Yeah, he brought me my zip ties. But that's perfect, because now he brought them in, so that for those of you, when I was trying to explain to you what I was talking about preloading, since I had to cut that one out, perfect timing. See, things happen for a reason. All right, so here's the 2 holes that we are talking about here. Hi, Michelle. You answer all my questions, Michelle, since this is your fault. So you're just going to put your zip tie in. And then you're just going to preload. You're going to load it in, and you'll hear a little zip. That's why they're called zip. And that's part of the preloading, okay? So that's going to let you get everything completely ready for your production, for lack of a better word. All right, so we're going to go on to the next one. We're going to backtrack in. We're going to put the white. Remember, we've already cut these. I'm going to cut it again in here in just a minute, but we're going to use this ice blue. You can fold it over if you want to find the perfect center and make just a little bitty crease, which some people do. I've kind of figured out where my center is. Lay it down and just kind of scrunch up the middle. See? And you can do whichever way you want to do it. And look, I can tell I'm flustered because now I've put my ribbon in backwards. I quit. I'm done. No, I'm just kidding. I do this one that's not live too, so don't worry about it. I've always, if I get to talking to my husband or my daughter, if I'm on the phone watching another live, you'd be surprised how many times I take these things apart because, so don't worry about it. Don't get stressed. Don't be upset if you make mistakes.
Rubber bands.
What?
Where's your rubber bands?
I don't know where my rubber bands are.
I can't find them.
They're on the table somewhere.
Oh,
Yes, they were. He's trying. He's so sweet. Wasn't that nice of him? He's trying to find my rubber bands for me. I think it's great. My husband's the best. Oh, don't tell him I found my rubber bands. Guess where they were? Next to me the whole time. Don't tell him. Although he probably already knows because he's watching the live, as y'all can tell, because he's my prep person. But it's okay. All right, back to what we're doing. So, I fold it like this. We're going to go ahead and insert it. We got our white one in. Once I'm done explaining, y'all will see how fast this is getting put together if I stop making mistakes, for one. It just flies through. What you laughing at, Rose? Oh, yeah. Michelle knows. That's what's great about these zip ties is that you make a mistake, you just turn right back around. You cut them out, you do it all over again. All right, so there's our next one. Just kind of give y'all an idea. I want y'all to see it side by side of what it is I'm talking about. So, this is what it's going to look like. So, you've got the white, and then you've got the real pretty ice blue on top of that. And then when you got the ice blue deco mesh, and then you put the other on top of that. And we're just going to alternate that all the way across throughout the layers, okay? So we're going to grab another one. We're going to go with our white. So who's going to be the next person Michelle ropes into doing a live? And hopefully it works so that you can do a double live. But it's okay. I appreciate all of Michelle's friends jumping over too. I know a lot of you don't know who I am, so the support is great because going live is it's a little bit intimidating. I don't know how Michelle and Rosie do this all the time, but you know, good for her, good for them. Thanks, Michelle. You know I'm a sucker for this ribbon color. Like ever since I saw it at the store, and then I saw Lori do this whole thing. I am telling you what, I have fallen in love with this ribbon design. So Miss Lori and her creations are pretty awesome, as we all know. But this one's a little bit over the top because just playing with the ribbons themselves can let you endless. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, put the next one in. So y'all can see how it's kind of creating the look going all the way down. And another reason I don't completely tighten them down is see how this ribbon is a little bit longer. If you don't completely tighten it down, it's fine, because you can kind of maneuver that one up a little bit and get it exactly where you need it before you tighten it down. And then it's going to be right back where you need it to be, with the same as everybody else. Are we good? Michelle, you answering all my questions for me? Are y'all talking to my husband? Yeah. This is not, I'm telling y'all, this is not something that I do. So this is pretty intimidating. Hi, Jordan. Oh, look. Friends. Of course, my daughter being on here. I think she should do a live next. She likes to make, she does cups. So, I mean, I don't think y'all want to watch the drying time, but. What's the questions? Do y'all want me to do one more? Let me show you what I'm folding, since I'm about to do a blue. Again, the mesh is cut 10 by 10. Just going to lay your mesh out. Take it corner to corner. Y'all are basically going to make a triangle. Like that. Take your corners and fold them down to the bottom. Kind of looks like a shirt collar, for lack of a better description. Pull it just a little bit. See how it kind of pulls up? And just scrunch across. Makes this petal. I measure mine because I like mine to be right at 4 inches. Again, for those that are just joining. And then what I do, now that I have my rubber bands that I had the whole time, don't tell my husband, is I wrap my, just to get it to hold with rubber bands. Make sure I'm still at 4 inches. And then that way, you can just throw this off to the side. You can cut your tails, which you want to do, and you're actually going to want to cut them about 1 inch down. And then that holds it in place. Who's next? Candy? Candy, you're next. I don't know who you are, but you're good. Let's go. I have 55 viewers. Michelle, they're all your friends. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just creating, and I hope y'all hang out until the end to do it. I have no clue what I'm doing. Like I said, this is all Michelle's fault. So we're going to come back to the board. Put a couple of more in. Put the ice blue down. Right. This is one I haven't cut yet. So I want y'all to see it. Again. Ribbon. 1.5 inches cut to 11 inches. You are going to lay it out to get the Trisha flower look. Mark it at 2 inches. And you're going to cut from 2 inches, the mark you just made, basically up to the upper corner. No lie, guys, if you do like 4 or 5 of these at a time, it's easier. But when I prepped it, I did all of them, but maybe 6. And then Michelle was like, make sure you save some so that you can show people. And I was like, oh, I was down to my last 6. So I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I did that. Like, she thought I was all like, you know, prepared and stuff. And I was actually over-prepared. But it's all good. All right, so when you're done, make sure they're all going in the same direction. You don't want one going one way and one going the other. Okay. Fold it over to get your actual center. Once you lay it down, just scrunch it up. Again, the key to it is making sure that all of your ribbons are going in the same direction. So we've got our deco mesh piece in, our little petal, and we're just going to zip tie the ribbon on top of it. So for those of you that are joining, this is kind of where we're at right now. See how it kind of gives it that sparkly icicle look all the way across just by rotating it? Rose, I don't know what you and Michelle are talking about, but I feel left out. Hi, Lori. Do you hear what Michelle did to me? She wanted me to do a double live. And look, Facebook has put us in some type of it can't happen jail. And now look at me. I am stuck doing this all by myself. It's all her fault. What has been shared a million times? Oh, I have not done this a million times. I'm here to tell you, Lori, I watch your videos and everybody else's videos, and I take really, really good notes. I'm not going to kid you, but this is not something that I really, really want to ever do again. Thank you. She threw me into the deep end. But I'm trying, and like I said, I'm trying to do your design justice. Like when we talked the other day, you were like, oh, you know, when you saw my other design. Did y'all see? I about did it again. About took it the wrong direction. Again. It's fine. The great thing for all of y'all about this board, I don't know if y'all know anything about the Unique and the Creep board. It's very versatile. I mean, I was doing one on my lap the other day. I think I've heard Lori talk about how she was traveling and she's done a wreath in her car. But with the stability of the board, as you can see, it's not like a wire frame. You can set it in your lap just about anywhere and do this. All right, so we're going to go back to our ice blue and just alternate on. I'm going to have to go back and read all of these videos. I think my daughter's talking nonsense about me. Hi, Megan. Hey, B-Bug. That would be my niece that lives in North Carolina. So if anybody's from North Carolina, she is up there right outside of Kernersville. Winston-Salem, Kernersville area. She also makes amazing things. It's a crafty little family, I suppose. We all have our specialties, though. Alright, so we're almost to the end of the first row, and then we're going to be able to just whip through this. We're going to just add this right on back in. Keep folding that. Again, double checking as you go that you are putting them all in the same direction. Don't be like me. Alright, so the first row is done. We're just going to go back and tighten them real quick. Megan, make sure you say hi to your little munchkins for me. All right. So they're all tightened down. Just come back in. You can cut your zip ties now. You've kind of double checked, hopefully, that all of your ribbons are going the same way. And guys, don't worry. If you make a mistake and all of your ribbons are messed up somewhere, snip it off. It's fine. You can redo it. It's not the end of the world. It's just a ribbon. That's what it's all about anyway. But you can see how, with the light, how that whole row is going to look. And then how clean the back is. That's the other thing I really like about these boards is it's not going to scratch any door. And I've told so many different designs to people that are up north because I love the fact that, as you can see how thin it's going to end up being, that it's going to fit between the storm doors. It's getting cold up there. All right. So, I always put lights on mine, and look, I got flustered. And I didn't. So we're going to do that real quick. Thank you, Lori. It's kind of, I don't think you were here at the beginning, but I made it match the flower, the Trisha flower that you saw on my Instagram page the other day. Just because I've decided I wanted to do like sets. So I'm going to have a tree and I'm going to have a wreath. And I think I'm going to do a couple of small things. Just if people decorate, they tend to like to follow a color theme. So that was my whole inspiration behind this. Is taking it to the next level and having a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Lights. First thing y'all always want to do, obviously, make sure the strand of lights that you purchased work. See, like this one needs to be tightened. He's already blinking. We don't like him. All right. Now, I always get timered lights just so that when you turn it on, especially for people, I always like the 6-hour timer lights just because they'll run for 6 hours. They'll turn themselves off and then you don't have to go back and worry about them again. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to unwind this because, like I said, I made a mistake. And I usually do mine before I do any of the zip ties or anything else. But that's okay too. It's real thin. It's real simple. So all I'm going to do, because the bottom, you don't want it across the way bottom anyway. So I'm just going to kind of run this through. And leaving some at the bottom of my strand. And I got this idea from Lori from Unique in the Creek. Miss Lori always tapes hers down. So I've gotten to where that's what I do too. I swear she's like my mentor and she doesn't even know it. But it's okay. Now I've lost my tape. It's okay. I give up, guys. I'm losing everything. This is what happens when you have to shift locations at the last minute. But it's fun. We just won't tape it. Okay. We'll just kind of set it off to the side and we will zip tie it as we go because I can't find my tape. All right. Next row. Are we ready? Oh, thank you, Lori. I just know when I decorate, I like my stuff to match. So I'll post later all of the matchies that I have going on. All right, next row. So because I have white here, we're going to start with the ice blue on the next row. And as you can see, I put the light through. So basically, we're going to end up zip tying over the top of that. Fold our petal again. And scrunch right up the middle. Okay. Go ahead and lay it right on top. Make sure it's pretty. You can always fluff all of your ribbons later. But see, now I've secured that one light into place, that string of lights. So it's not going anywhere. Except to add that little bit of sparkle that we're obviously going to need at the end. I hope Michelle, if somebody's answering all these questions, I can't keep up with it. I don't know. I feel like I'm just doing a tutorial more than a live. Sorry, guys. What are you thinking, Greg? Oh, that's my husband again. That Greg person, that's my husband, guys. And he's just telling me he's thinking too much stuff. Can you ever have too much stuff if you're a crafter? I mean, let's be honest. I don't think so. He probably does. Because, you know, he pays all the bills. So in his mind, he's probably thinking he doesn't want all this craft stuff, but too bad. Okay. Thank you, Michelle, for answering all my questions. Why do we need earbuds? What'd I miss, Rose? Alright, so there we go. Just going to keep alternating. Y'all see how it just perfectly, I'm going to hold it up so you can see how the petal on the next row perfectly lays over the other. So all of this is camouflaging the board. You're not going to see any of the board. Okay, I'm going to put this one in, and then we're going to fold another petal again just so that y'all have an idea of exactly what I'm doing. And then we'll cut another ribbon. So for those of you that are just joining that I'm not answering because it's scrolling by so fast that I can't even read it. So that's Michelle's job, or Bree's job, or whoever wants to answer the questions. Rose. I'm going to say Michelle because, again, she got me into this. But it's fine. My phone hasn't fallen on my head yet, so that's good. Okay. So there's that. Just straighten that up just a little bit. All right, let's go back to the blue. All right. 10 by 10 mesh for those that are just joining. Fold from corner to corner to make your triangle. Take your ends down. Oops, I gotta come this way. Ends down. Again, to me, like I said, it just kind of looks like a shirt collar. And scrunch from side to side. And that makes your perfect little petal. Take your ends.
Moshel just sent a request to join. I'm supposed to tell you.
Who is that? Is she trying to join me? Michelle, you just sent a request? Where? How do I do that? It took me Susan, it took 2 rolls of ribbon, each at 30 foot, and each were cut at 11 inches for this one. Okay, so we're at 4 inches. Just go ahead and cut off your extra, your tail. Leave it about 1 inch. Like I said, this is where I like to use the rubber band just to secure it a little bit. You can use zip ties. You don't have to use it at all. But whichever one you want to do. Okay? Michelle keeps trying to come on, and I don't know how she wants me to answer that because nothing's popping up on my end. Let's see. Let's see if it will let her. Probably not. It's still screaming things at my end, Michelle. I'm hoping it will let her. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go right back in here. We're going to add the one that we just made. The other thing is there's 2 sides to this petal. You see how you have one that kind of looks like a spoon? This side. And then you have like more of the closed. You can turn it either way. This is your preference. This is your design. You're the creator. It's totally up to whatever you want to do. I always, whenever I'm doing a design like this, especially that requires ribbons, I always do the more of the bubble on top, the spoon down. For, I don't know what it's called, but petal down, spoon down, whatever. So we're going to put that in. Go ahead again and fold your ribbon. We're going to scrunch it in half. Make sure it's even, and we're going to add. We're friends in everything, guys, I swear. She even like FaceTimed me and the whole 9 yards, and we've been able to communicate all day. until we needed to communicate, and then it said no. So it's okay. It's all fine. Okay, again, we're going to fold. And y'all can choose any color you like. Maybe you like buffalo plaid. You know, buffalo plaid is big this year. So maybe you want to do, you know, something with the buffalo plaid and a solid color. It's your choice. I just happen to be, for whatever reason, I am on this ice blue, white, and silver kick. And peacocks. Peacock is coming later tonight, but, you know, I don't want to give that design away. I want to show it first. So, sorry. That one I have to work out. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it yet. So, I can't go live with it. Oh, Michelle, thank you. You and Bree are so great. Every once in a while, it's funny. The comments are going by so fast, and I only stops on, she's doing great. And I think I'm deliberately doing that. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Shishi. We're making a wreath. You know, y'all always ask me how to make them, so Michelle talked me into doing one tonight to teach basically a tutorial live class, and here we go. Here I am. Yes, the mesh is cut 10 by 10. So you can use any of the any color mesh that you want, iridescent. You can I just always like, whenever I'm doing something especially that has sparkly ribbon, I always use something that has kind of like a foily look to it. Just because I like the sparkle, since it's kind of showing in between the ribbons to show also. So the mesh is cut 10 by 10. The ribbons are cut to 11 inches. And I'm going to show you again here in just a second how to get that cut that you're after, okay? So what do you think of the colors so far, guys? Hi, Ginger. Oh, look. How funny is that my husband can actually answer where I got the ribbon? I told y'all. He knows. I shop too much. Too much. It's a problem. But the problem is, I see y'all's lives, and then I have to do them. And if I don't have it in-house, then I have to go buy it. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Bobby. But I went, yeah, so he knows. All right, second row's done. I'm just going to go in real quick, tighten all these up. I don't want any of them shifting, moving, falling out when it gets to a customer's house. The way my night's going, I know I have a zip tie gun over there. Guys, I don't even want to take the chance of it just like not doing its job. So, sorry. We're just going to do it this way. For those of you who do use this board or start using this board, I can tell you the one thing. Make sure that you invest in a good pair of wire cutters. You don't want to use your scissors. Make sure that you get a good pair. I had the worst pair where it wouldn't even cut a zip tie. I'm not going to kid you. I mean, it was horrible. So, I went out and invested, and now I can just fly through it. So, spend that extra $4 or $5 and don't get the cheap one. Oh, thanks, Julie. You like the blue and silver? Yeah, so then you kind of come back in and you kind of fix it. I'm going to hold this up real quick so y'all can see how it's kind of folding over each other. See how it's covering each other? You're not seeing anything. Any of the board. Okay, so we're going to move into our next one. Okay, for those of you that are just joining, my dears, we are going to fold a couple of the petals because I know that seems to be a question that keeps popping up. So we're going to fold a couple of the blue just to get us ahead of the all right, 10 by 10. Fold corner to corner. It's going to basically make a triangle. Fold it flat. Fold your edges in. Again, like I said, it looks like a shirt collar, but y'all do whatever you want to call it. Scarf, whatever. You're going to scrunch from side to side, and it creates your little petal. We want it to be 4 inches. I've gotten to where I know where it is, but you can measure. And if you need it a little bit, hi gal, if you need it a little bit longer, just kind of pull, shape it just a little bit. It'll make it a little bit longer. Okay. Cut off your tail. That's the excess pieces. That's what I call a tail. That whole piece that was just hanging down off the end.
You want to see the board more.
Oh, they want to see the board more. Okay. Okay. So apparently somebody wants to see the board. This is a triangle board. This is for a Unique in the Creek triangle board. I'll back up. So it's already got all of your holes preset in it. So you'll go your 2 by 2 on it, and that's where you're going to put your zip ties in. And you can create, I've created, you can do anything. I'm not going to lie. If you go to Unique in the Creek, they've made gnomes using this, Santa hats, trees, obviously, because I like to call it a tree board, even though it's not a tree board. Ice cream cone, you can turn it this way. Make an ice cream cone. The possibilities are endless. Use your own imagination and you will be able to do this, okay? You can get the board at uniqueinthecreek.com. I also have an affiliate link on my site that you can click on and order them that way. For those of you, they are just recently released to some Michaels. They're not at all of the Michaels yet, but you can, maybe your Michaels carries them, and you can get them there too. They're limited of what they carry. They have this triangle board. They have what they call the large board, a large flower board, a small flower board, and then they have what's a character board. I'm going to be doing different things with those. Michelle's got me addicted to this now. So, yes, Ginger, I do. I buy a new board for each project. Think of it as the same as if you're going and buying the wireframes or the grapevines that you put all of your stuff on. This is going to be your base. And yes, and if you're making them to sell, definitely. It's just going to protect the back. I'll show you the one over here again. With the zip ties being so flat, it's not going to scratch up anybody's door. Tony, okay, I cut 1 roll of each color of the deco mesh at 10 by 10. So it ended up giving me, I think it was 34 pieces of mesh for each color that you want to choose. So if you want it to be just a solid color, then you're going to need 2 rolls of that color. And then I used 2 complete rolls of ribbon at 1.5 inch ribbon. Also your color choices. And I cut them at 11 inches. Okay, let's make a couple of more of your petals. That way we can move on. All right, so we're going to fold in half. Corner to corner. And we're just going to scrunch from side to side.
I want to see the board you're working on.
I'm getting to the board I'm working on. My husband keeps coming in here because I guess he's watching the live, so he keeps coming in and going, they want this, they want that. And I can't figure out how to make my camera move. So hold on. Let me see if I can adjust this so y'all can see this a little bit more. Y'all bear with me. Technical difficulties. Is that better? Can you see it a little bit better now? Yes? Can you see what I'm doing now with it like this? Okay, I'll put the petal more towards me when I'm showing. All right, I'm about to do another petal. Okay. I'll move this out of the way so y'all can see me. Are we good? All right, here we are. So we're going to take corner to corner. So here's your triangle. Then we're going to take this corner, fold it down. So your point comes down to this bottom point here. This point's going to do the same thing down to make your little shirt, per se. Okay? And scrunch side to side. Y'all see that? This is why I wanted Michelle to be the big screen, so that she knew, had her camera all set up, and I don't. So all of this angles are like driving me nuts. But hold on. So 4 inches and better? Will you be able to see now? Okay, I think y'all be able to see me now. They told me to tilt it down. Okay, so here we go. 10 by 10. Corner to corner. You're going to make basically a triangle. Okay? Take this corner, because I kind of turned it a little bit. You're going to take it down to the bottom. So point to point. Opposite corner, you're going to do the same thing. So you see how it kind of makes, whatever you want to call it. I call it like a shirt collar, but it's just, that's what it makes. And you're going to just kind of pull it just a touch. Now you see how this has this edge here and this edge here? That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying scrunch from side to side. So start here, hold it down, and just scrunch over. So that you end up, now right now it's like a little circle. But when you go in and you kind of push in the middle a little bit, see how it kind of makes that shape? This is what I call that, I don't know what petal this is. Everybody else probably knows what petal this is. I call it like a spoon, flat spoon. And I always measure mine to 4 inches. So, okay. So cut off your tails. This is the tails that I call the tails. Cut it off to about 1 inch on the end. I always use rubber bands. You don't have to. You can put it straight on the board. But I like to use the rubber bands just because it holds it. I'm glad everybody else thinks they're happy that I decided to take the step and go live. This is so intimidating. I really, honestly, don't know how Lori or Michelle or Rose or anybody else that has all of these followers do this, because this is crazy. Okay, I'm going to make another one. 10 by 10. Folding it down to make your little triangle. Point to the bottom. Okay. Opposite point to the bottom. Make your collar. Okay. Scrunch side to side. Again, don't worry about it. See how it's got this ugly little circle shape? And it's, if you just kind of push in the middle, you're going to be able to shape it, and it's automatically going to kind of pop right into that form that you're wanting. Okay? Cut off your tails. FYI, guys, I learned this the hard way too. Make sure you have a trash can handy. If you don't, you got a big mess. All right. Thank you, Sarah. I don't feel like I'm doing wonderful. I feel like I'm fumbling. All right, so I've made a couple of petals. We're going to go back and we're going to go ahead and put some of those in. And then that way, as we're going on a little bit further, we'll be able to let the net group learn some petals too, okay? Because like I said, I set some to the side to be able to show as we're going. All right, so remember we have our lights because I can't find my tape to tape them in. Go ahead and string them through your next row. I'm telling you guys, this looks like it's complicated because I'm making this complicated because I can't find my tape. But otherwise, I usually already have this taped to the board, zip tied where it needs to be. There's no issues, and it just holds. Because you're basically just going to take it right across like this. Okay? Make sense? All right. So we're going to go to our next section. And get... Now, we started with blue here. So we need to go to white. So go ahead and put our white in. And remember, because we don't want them to clash with our white, we are doing the actual ice blue ribbon. So lay your ribbon down. You're going to, I know where my half is, I'm sorry. Fold it in half to get your crease, like a small crease. Don't hold it. Just so you know exactly where your middle is. Okay? I always do my points to the top. That lets me know that I'm putting my ribbon in the same direction every time. Scrunch to the end. And then it comes up however you want it. Okay? I like mine like this. We're just going to go ahead and put it right on top of the white that's already done. Zip tie it in place. Don't forget that you're also catching that light cord in place too. That's going to light up your board. Okay? We're going to go to our next one. Here's our blue that we just did. We're going to do the same thing. Put your points to the top. Fold over in the middle. Scrunch to the top again. Make your little ribbon point, okay? Lay it right down on top. And zip it in place. It's as easy as that. The hardest part of this whole thing, guys, is the prep. If you've prepped it all in advance and you're not trying to do a live when you have no idea what you're doing, it will fly. It literally does go really, really, really fast. It's just the prep that's the hardest part. So we're going to add our ribbon again, fold it in half. We're just alternating our colors. Scrunch from bottom to top, folding it over in the middle, creating your points that you want, making sure that all of your points are going the same direction. You will be able to notice zipping it into place. Don't worry if your ribbons fold over like mine just did. They're wired ribbons. You'll be able to go right back in and fix them, okay? And then it folds right over. And again, see how they're all just kind of peeking out the bottom, so it's giving it that look that we're after. We're going to go right back in. We're going to do the blue. What's the question? Oh yes, we did do a 2-inch angle. Sorry. It's the Nutritia petal. Lori from Unique in the Creek debuted it about a week and a half ago. And she made it just a flower board with nothing but the ribbon. I actually have one behind me. And then I decided that I wanted a matching tree. So that's why we're doing this. Here, is that better? Is that good? My camera's moving. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this whole live thing, at least hasn't fallen on my head yet. Who made a troll? Somebody made a troll. I'm not getting into this conversation y'all are doing. Somebody has a troll. Oh, somebody made Christine mad. Or Charlene mad. I'm sorry, Charlene. It is not a... It is not. I'm trying to read what Ginger is saying and it scrolled by too fast. Ginger is my sister-in-law, guys. So somebody answer whatever it is that she just asked, as it went away too fast for me to even remotely know what she said to me. So we're going to fold the ribbon. Fold it in half, again, making sure all of your points are going in the same direction. You've got your mesh petal in, lay your ribbon on top, zip tie. Now, I told y'all at the beginning, I don't really zip tie tight, just in case your ribbons start going, like this one is a little too low. So, and then this way you can kind of go in and you can adjust the height or wherever you need it to be. Okay? So we're going to go to our next one, which is going to be a white one. And this one does take a little bit longer just because of all of the pieces that you have to put into it. I appreciate all of y'all watching. I really, really do. I also know that you're probably a little frustrated with me. I'm sorry. So we're just going to attach it again, alternating the colors as we go so that it gives you that varied look. And I'm basically the look I'm going for with this, and y'all can do it. And you see how all of my ribbons are sticking up? I kind of want it to look like an icicle. I'm from North Carolina, so there is nothing prettier. Originally, I'm from North Carolina, not anymore. There's nothing prettier to me than when we would have an ice storm and you would walk outside, obviously not the part where you lose the power or anything like that, but to walk outside and the trees are just covered in ice and everything has that blue and white and silver look because it's so pretty and clean out in the country. That's the look I'm going for here. It's kind of nostalgic for me. Okay, so we're going to add our other ribbon. So you can do whatever makes you happy. Okay, whenever I create, my biggest thing is that I always try to create something or make something that I myself would want to either put on my wall or put on my door, or, as my husband says, thank goodness we don't have a house that has a lot of doors, because that's me. If I don't want to keep it, then I feel like I haven't created to the best of my ability. So I always try to create something that brings a little bit of a nostalgic feel to me. Everybody has their own preference, unless of course it's a custom order. But just to create something, that's where I get my inspiration from. Okay. So I'm just tightening up these zip ties, making sure they're really good in place. Okay. And we're just going to, now you can go in and you can do one at a time. You can like tighten it down. Again, I don't like to, because I like to be able to go back and make sure all of my ribbons are even before I get to the end of a row. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. Here it is so far. Now you notice it's going to go a lot faster now. We're getting to where it's like less on each row. Your bottom rows do take the longest amount of time, obviously, just because there's more petals to do. But this is where we're at so far. Okay, so for those of you that are just coming in, again, we're using the Unique and the Crete triangle board. We are making basically a Trisha petal on the tree to match a flower that I did earlier in the week. We're going to make a couple of more petals so that y'all know where we're at. Your mesh is cut 10 by 10. You're going to use 2 different colors of mesh. So take your 10 by 10 and you're going to create your petal. Fold it from corner to corner into your triangle. Take your point down to the bottom. Take your second point down to the bottom to create your little shirt collar, whatever. Pull just a little bit. Now take your edge and you're going to scrunch all the way over here to your other edge, okay? So just scrunch straight across. That's going to create your petal. See how it's kind of rounded? If you just kind of take your thumb and kind of put in the middle, kind of push out where it's scrunched in right there, it creates that perfect petal, okay? I measure mine out because I want all of mine to be consistent. So I measure mine to 4 inches. You can make yours whatever length you want it to. I just found that on the tree, 4 inches works best. Cut off your tails. Have a trash can handy so that you don't make a mess everywhere like I always do. Now, you can either put this straight in to your board, or because because I'm adding ribbon and I don't want to take the chance of it coming loose while I'm adding the ribbon, you can put a clear rubber band on it. See how you can't see the rubber band? The other good thing about doing the rubber band, and I meant to mention this earlier, it kind of gives you a guide. So when you're putting this into your tree and you're putting your zip ties and you're closing it up, you know that if you put all of your zip tie closed right here on the rubber band, all of your petals are going to be perfectly even all the way across. So that's another, okay? So that's how you're going to do that. Now we're going to make, people are asking about the ribbon. I used 2 rolls of ribbon, 30-foot rolls, and I cut my pieces to 11 inches, okay? To get the cut of the petal, you're going to need a pen, unless you're really good and I'm not. Lay it down to where it's at 0. Mark 2 inches with the pen, not like all the way across, just a little spot right down here on the edge, okay? Same thing on the other side, because it's marked at 11. You're going to just kind of mark right here. All right? Where that mark is on your ribbon, because you're all nice and even, see how we're all even? We're even. You're going to cut from here, and I like to put my finger across it to hold it in place. You're going to cut from where you marked at that 2-inch spot straight up to the opposite corner up here. So you're making a point, just like that, okay? And make sure you have really sharp scissors, because mine was just dull and I created a mountain in there, okay? And you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side where you mark your 2 inches, okay? You're going to, and I always do it the opposite way because I can't figure out how to cut with my left hand. So make sure your points are going to be the same direction. So I'm going to, you can either cut from the 2-inch where you marked it up. I can't do that. I'm backwards. It's okay. So I always start in the upper corner and I go down to where my 2-inch mark is. And then that way you have your points. They're all going the same direction. Does that make sense? Hopefully. You can use, you can use mesh, you can use ribbons. I wanted mine to be a little bit thicker, which is why I'm using both. The flower, don't get me wrong, if you use just when I did the flower, I used 2.5-inch ribbon, and it was fine. It was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. But I just thought the tree, I mean, it's a tree. So, in my opinion, the tree should have just been a little bit fuller. So, it's your preference, again, what it is that you want to do. Okay? So, we're going to set our lights in. See how they're already holding in place due to those zip ties? String it through. Make sure you have your tape handy. Makes your life easier. And now that's out of the way. Okay, so then you'll be ready for your next petals. All right, so we're going to start on this side. You've got blue here. We're going to jump into our white. We're going to add our ribbon. So 11 inches. Make sure your points are at the top. You can fold in half again if you don't know where your middle is. Kind of crease it just a little bit. Hi, Miss Monkey. Michelle did this to me. It's all Michelle's fault. She'll explain. So once you fold it, because you're going to just put it in over your petal that you've already formed. Zip tie. Again, ensuring that all of your ribbon is going the same direction. Okay. Alternate into the blue that we just did. See, this is where I'm talking about where the rubber band comes in handy. So I'm not even having to measure against the one next to it, because I already know where my 4 inches is because of the rubber band. Is that good? I'm telling you, my next slide is on my kitchen, is on my dining room table. I'm telling you that I don't have to move everything. I apologize. It was completely set up for that, for me to go, and it's all big, and I had all this room, and now I'm in my craft room, and then the grandkids were coming home from our pumpkin patch, and that was going to be really loud, and I didn't want y'all to have to put up with that. So I apologize that it's a little crowded and I have to keep moving my board, but this is what's going on. Okay, but you see how I used the rubber band as my guide and it lined up perfectly. Okay, so they're even. We're going to go back into a white. Put your white petal in. Go ahead and you basically know. I always set it down to kind of feel where the zip tie is. Get your ribbon. Okay. Go ahead and fold it in half. Y'all can lay it down to scrunch it. I've gotten to where I don't even have to. I just kind of scrunch it myself. Okay. You can just scrunch it in your hand and bend it down. Okay. So here we go. Add my ribbon. Zip it tight. It's going to go right over where that rubber band is. Okay, just like that. Any questions? Okay, we're going to go right ahead and go into your next one. So we're right, so we're going into the ice blue. Fold it over. Do I run the lights through what? I do not run the lights through every zip tie. I basically run the lights, because I usually tape them down on the middle of the board, but I do run my zip ties through the ones on the end. Because if you look, which is fine, because if you think about the fact that when you're putting your lights on your tree, they kind of have that droopy effect in the middle anyway. So I just put my lights through when I run them through to the very end. So I put them through here and it'll run across through this one, and it's just going to run just through the ones on the end. Okay. We're almost done with this row. Remember how I told you that once you get past the bottom rows, it just goes so much faster. So we're going to fold it in the middle again. Just kind of scrunch it to the top. I'm using the Miss Monkey does this where she just kind of puts it over her finger, kind of scrunches in like this. I watch her all the time. So that's why you can lay it down until you get comfortable to get that perfect. But it works just as well once you've made that bend in the middle where you can just kind of fold it over your finger and do the exact same thing. Okay, now we're going to go with our ice blue. Fold it over in the middle. Always keeping your points more towards the top. Scrunch. Fold over, however you want to call it. Make sure your points are even. It's just that simple. And that way you're always, once you get into the hang of it, of which direction you need your ribbon to go, it's just going to come kind of second nature. You won't have to second guess. Now you may have, like if people start talking to you, you might have to go in and pull some out, which is fine. Got our last white on this one. And then our turquoise. Points to the top. Just kind of fold over. Make your perfect little point. And you're just going to insert it right over your other petal. Making sure when you zip tie that you're catching both the petal and the ribbon. Okay? I'm going to go back and tighten these up and I'm going to show you. So this is going to give you an idea of what the entire board is going to look like as far as the tree goes. Cut all of those off. Make sure, like I said, make sure you have your trash can. All right. This is what it looks like so far. And see how it kind of sparkles? And that's going to be your up to 4 rows right now. And then it's just going to, because it's getting smaller and smaller as you go, it just goes so much faster, okay? I'm going to push this back. Hi, guys. And see if I push this further back that way, if y'all can get the whole board. Since I'm not on my dining room table any longer. How's that? Michelle, does that work? Hopefully that works. Hopefully. Okay, so we're going to go to our next one. So here we go. We've got our lights again over here on the side. See how they're already pulled through? We're going to go ahead and just run them through the end zip tie. That's it. Since I can't find my tape. Lay them right across the middle basically and put them on the other side. That way they're out of your way. And then that way you'll have a string of lights on that one too. Okay, we're going to go right into our next one. We're going to put our blue. Since this is white, we're going to put the blue. Fold our silver or gray or whatever you want to call it and blue ribbon over. Make sure your points are even. Place right on top. Here we go. So y'all can see what I'm talking about. Place right on top of your piece of mesh. Kind of hold it in place. And your ribbon may curl. See how mine's curling? It's fine. It's wired. It's wired for a reason. See how it's all curling up? It's okay, because then when you go back in and you pull your ribbon, it's going to lay right back down where you need it to be. It's going to do exactly what you need it to do. Okay? And now we're going to go back in with our white. Can't see any of my comments because now my phone is tilted down completely to the side. And I promise you, when I do my next live, it will be on the dining room table where I have like all of that spread out room and y'all can actually see what I'm doing. Again, this was a last minute changeover to put me in my craft room because the grandkids were coming over. So bear with me, I'm sorry. Gonna add it right on in there. And you just alternate like that. Hold on one second, guys. What do they want me to do, honey?
How many lights on a string? What size?
How many lights are on my string and what size? I can answer that question. I can dig it out of the trash. Here's the lights. So I got these at Hobby Lobby. Actually, there's 20 lights on the string, and it is, doesn't tell me how long it is. Actually, I'm sorry, I got these at Big Lots. I used my other one at Hobby Lobby. But there's 20 lights on the string, and I want to say it's right at 4 feet. It's not very long, but it's just kind of spaced out perfectly. And then, of course, it is, again, it's on a timer. So you'll turn it on, and when you turn it on, it will stay on for 6 hours. And then after 6 hours, it will turn off for 18 and turn itself right back on for 6 hours. Okay? Hold on one second. I'm trying to see if I can get these comments to come up because now my phone is completely pointed down and I have no idea what anybody is saying to me. Other than when my husband comes in here and tells me what the question is. All right, so we're going to move on while that's trying to figure out what it's doing. We're going to go with our ice blue. Go ahead and place it in there. Get your ribbon. Fold it in half. Make sure your points are at the top. Folding it right in the middle to create your points, just like this. And you're going to place it right over right over your mesh, like so, and tighten. Just like so. And then you can straighten it all out and go from there. Now we're going to go into our next one. We're going to go ahead and put in the white. See how we're almost done, guys? It's really not a complicated process. As long as as long as you have the room and you can actually see. Sorry. So we're going to go ahead, place it right on top of the white, zip it in place, fix your ribbons, just like that. Can everybody see? I know I'm getting to the top of the board, so I have to keep squishing it back towards me a little bit more and a little bit more. Which is fine. It's not that big a deal. This is the one that I fixed earlier. My rubber band just popped on me. Just need to fix it again real quick. Make sure it's still at 4 inches. It is. Place it right down in there. Get your silver ribbon. Fold it over. Points are at the top when you're folding. Just kind of fold it in half, like so. And that creates in the same direction. Put it over your mesh, petal. And tighten down. Okay, let's grab a white. We're almost done with this row. Fold it in half. I can't see any of my... I hear that y'all have comments. So, Michelle, I need you to be a doll and answer anything that you possibly can. Because now with my phone tilting down so much since I had to relocate, I don't have a clue. It's turning into a tutorial. But I can tell you that if anybody asks a question that I noticed when I go back and read them all that was not answered, I will answer them. I will make sure I contact you and I will answer the question. Because that's the one thing. I'm going to move this so we can make some petals for those that just joined. That's the one thing that I do notice, that when I'm doing some lives with people, is that if they miss something, that's what I love about like both Michelle's, Miss Monkey and Michelle, Rose, Lori, Kat that I've watched too, that they will go back through and they'll make sure that they answer those. Okay, mesh 10 by 10, fold it in half. You're going to take corner down to the bottom point, fold it over again, other corner, to make your little jacket scarf looking thing, and just scrunch across the side. Again, see how it kind of bubbles out? Y'all, I don't know if y'all can see that bubble, but if you take your thumb and just kind of put it in the middle and push it back, then it ends up being that pretty little curve that you want. Spoon, whatever, shovel. Y'all call it whatever you want to call it. I call it a spoon. This is what you call the tail. I cut that off. Leave about an inch. Don't break your rubber band when you're biting into it. And just wrap a rubber band to hold it in place. Again, I also use my rubber band as my guide when I'm putting it on the board, but that's totally up to you. Okay? Make a couple more. Ten by 10, fold it into your triangle. Take your point down. Your other point. Pull just a touch and you're going to scrunch right across the middle. By doing that, when you're doing it, it usually does come up to be, unless you really pull and want it stretched out, it does come out to be like a 4-inch little petal. And then you can pull it or make it thinner or however you want it. But I like it to be just a little wider, like at the bottom, and then that way it makes your little base. Okay, one more, and then we will go back to putting our board together so that anybody has any. Okay, we're going to fold into your triangle. Take your far point, bring it down to the bottom. Same thing, your outer point, bring it down to the bottom. Make your little jackety thing. Scrunch straight across the middle. There's your petal. Go ahead and poke out your middle to get your shape that you want. You may not want to poke out the middle. You may have something else you want to do. Michelle, I miss you. Imagine if you were live with me right now, how much fun we would be having. We would be in trouble. Or maybe Rose. Maybe Rose and I should do a double live. Maybe it'll work. And it won't, we won't break Facebook. Okay? So what we're going to do real quick, because we're going to turn right back around. Bring our board back over. Can y'all see? Already? Hopefully you can see. Now we're right up here. Remember, we ran this through. You can go ahead, because we're on this, we're on this last one right here. We need the blue. Go ahead, put your blue in for your last one on this row. Fold it over. And then go ahead and scrunch through the middle like this. And we're going to fold down, just making sure your points are even. Okay? Making sure that you secure your lights. Fixing your ribbons as you go. You can always come back and do it. It's not that big a deal. All right, now we're going to tighten them all up. Go straight across. Tighten all of those zip ties up. You want them to be good and tight. You don't want any falling off on your customers. Off your door or anybody else's door for that matter. Take your wire cutters and you're just going to clip off your excess zip ties. Being really careful to not cut your string of lights, please. I know you're thinking it's silly that I said that. It has happened. We are not perfect people. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is where we're at. Kind of like this. So all the way across the board, you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and you're moving up, and it's literally going to fly. Okay, take your lights through your zip tie. And seeing as how we're at the top of the board, we're just going to go ahead and secure them. Take them over and get these all out of our way. I only take them through the ones on the end. So there's that one. Only on the ends to create that perfect Christmas tree effect. Just zigzagging up. You can go around the outside of your board. You can go on the end, however you want to do it. You may have a customer that doesn't want any lights at all and just wants ribbon. It's totally up to whatever you want to do. Nobody else. This is your board, your creation. You do it how you want to do it. Okay? So, here's your lights, and we'll come back in, and they're all positioned in. Now that we don't have to worry about them moving around anymore. Okay? We're going to come right over here, and we're going to just go ahead and finish these up. Going with your white, folding over your blue, folding down, making sure your points are good, adding it right on top. You're going to secure that light. See how I secured that light in there? So now I know it's not going anywhere. Go to your blue. Fold over your ribbon, your coordinating alternating ribbon. So I have decided while I'm doing this, now that my phone, one, since I'm in the craft room and I can't even see my phone because it's pointing down for y'all to see, that definitely need to be on the dining room table. 2, I need to have somebody doing nothing but sitting at my house answering all the comments or telling me what people say so I can answer all the comments. I always wondered why when I watch certain people, they have their spouse in the room or somebody in the room with them. And I was always like, oh, that's so nice of them. You know, that their husband or their daughter or somebody is reading the stuff off. And I completely understand why now that they are reading it off, because I have turned this into a tutorial instead of a live, and I am not interacting with anybody because I can't even see the comments. But I appreciate everybody staying through the design process of this. And Michelle and anybody else that's answering the questions, Rose, my husband, my daughter, whomever, since I can't seem to get to it, I appreciate it tremendously. Again, we're just going to keep alternating the colors. Because I really didn't want to do a tutorial. I kind of wanted to interact with everybody. I have so much fun when I watch everybody and we hear all the different comments coming back. And it kind of makes you feel a little bit special when you're watching somebody craft and they're answering your questions, and you kind of feel like you're learning something and you're like part of their family. And that's kind of what I was going after. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. So again, I apologize if that's not happening. But you know, it's my first one and the next one will be fabulous. Yes, you heard me. I will do another one. It's all Michelle's fault. She's got me addicted. Besides, I'm sure y'all are going to want to know what that peacock wreath is going to look like. And I have a question. Here he comes. Are you reading my comments to me? That wasn't a hint when I said that other people have spouses. That was not a hint. But my husband just walked in the room. I can't read that. I'm blind. He handed me his phone, and the writing is so teeny tiny on it that he expected me to know what y'all were asking me. Hilarious. Blind person. Zip tying in. Again. What's it say? What do they want to know, honey? You handle that.
Well, Michelle had asked what type of phone you have.
What type of phone I have?
Yeah.
I have a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Why? Don't ask me how to work it. Girl, this is all on you. You created this nightmare that I'm in. But I will figure out how to work it before I do this again. Guys, my husband's in here. So if you have a question, he's reading the comments to me right now. How sweet is he? When he should be going to bed because he has to get up and go to work early in tomorrow morning. He's like being so nice to me. I was kind of hinting that I was hoping my daughter that lives with me would come in here and do it, but I guess that was a no. Any questions from anybody? We finished this other row, so I'm about to go back across. Again, I'm telling you, if you can do it however you want to, but I do find that using those rubber bands really does work as a guide to know exactly where you're at. Okay, so we're just going to tighten these up real quick. Again, I do have a zip tie gun. Michelle, I don't want to hear it if you say otherwise. But the way everything has gone wrong tonight, with Facebook not liking me and you making me do my duo live by myself. Hint, duo live by myself. I didn't even want to try it. So you're just going to come back once it's good and tight. Clip off all of your zip ties. This is where we're at so far. What do you think? We're almost done, guys. Are you excited? I am. Okay, we're going to alternate again. There's your white. Somewhere in the process of this, I have lost ribbon.
What color is the mesh? How many lights?
What color is my mesh? My mesh is, I have two different color meshes. I have a ice blue. I'll show you here in just a second. That has some like foil strips running through it. And then I have the actual white that has some foil strips running through it, like some iridescent pieces, just because I wanted to give it that look of icicles and snow. So here is the white. See how it sparkles? It is thin. Don't worry about it. I didn't go out and use my, you know, $15 poly burlap or anything like that. I did use like Hobby Lobby mesh is actually where this came from. So it is thin, but as you can see, it's all doubled over. And it's really going to be covered by the ribbon. So all you're going to see is just the iridescent on the end. So it's really not that a problem. And then the other one that I have, I'll just hold up the whole thing, is this real pretty ice blue. And I went with this one, which is also, this one, believe it or not, is actually from Michael's. But it matched the ribbon that I got from Joann's perfectly. So that's why I did that. Again, it is thin, but your ribbons are going to cover it. So you can choose, if you want to use, you know, your poly burlaps or whatever that you're wanting, that you normally use. If you're not going to put the ribbons over it, just to give it that thickness. But in this case, I just used what I had locally, especially when I saw that this one matched so well, and it was going to be covered. Okay, so we're going to make a couple of more of these blues, because somewhere along the way, and I apologize, those shifting rooms, and I think they have now fallen down both sides of the bed. So, sorry, I don't know where they're at. They're gone. They are just gone. And we're going to scrunch it. Make sure you measure. You're at your 4 inches. Cut off your tails. My trash can's over here if you're wondering where I'm going.
How long is the ribbon cut?
11 inches on the ribbon cut. And somewhere in my craft room, it is literally eating my supplies. I don't know what is happening. When Michelle and I were on the phone earlier, we had cut, or I had a mall cut. I had cut 35 of each piece, and I only needed 65 total. But I had cut 35 of each piece, and now, for whatever reason, because I have moved from location to location, it's all disappeared. I don't know where. You see me kind of peeking around. If you can see my face at all, I'm kind of like, I've lost my mesh. But it's okay. I've lost my mesh. I've lost my ribbons. And it's the ice blue, so it's got to be here somewhere, because it's the last thing that I cut. But I have more. That's why you're seeing me make these right now, because I always cut extra. But the ribbon itself, I'm going to actually have to cut. And y'all can see me cut it because the ice blue ribbon has disappeared.
By the way, you have 90 people.
I don't want to know that. I don't know who those 90 people are. All right, so here we are folding it again. Let me do this one and I'll explain again what I'm doing for those that may have just joined. And if you did, thank you for joining. And then in the same breath, let me say I apologize because my phone is kind of down. I can't see anything. I've got my husband in the back corner behind me trying not to be in this live, answering any questions that y'all may. He's giving them to me so I can answer the questions. Okay. Again, so we've got our 10 by 10 mesh. We're going to fold it into a triangle. Okay. Take your corner and bring it down to the bottom. Your other corner and bring it down to the bottom where they kind of meet down here at this point. I always know that I've done it right when it kind of looks like this little collar thing. Okay. These opposite sides right here, you're just going to scrunch straight across the middle. It creates kind of this roundy blob. But if you push in the middle, just take your thumb right in the middle like this, it ends up making this real pretty petal.
Susan says she's enjoying your video.
Who is Susan? Thank you, Susan, for who says you're enjoying my video that I have no idea. My husband's giving me the comments. So, I don't know who's going to be next. But whoever does the next live, I do hope that your double live works out for you. And if not, you can be like me and just wing this.
Dana Down says you're doing a live. It's just the reason you can't find anything. It's like socks in a dryer, 2 socks in, 1 out.
Thank you, Dana, for saying that, because I literally made sure, and I counted my stuff 4 different times before I ever came on, just to make sure I had everything, and I do mean everything that I needed. And now I don't, and that's okay. It's fine. So we're going to make another one, fold it in half, and we're going to take our outside points to the bottom. And I'm telling y'all, I had all of these nice little petals done so that we could speed this up, and they're gone somewhere.
Where do you get the rubber bands?
Rubber bands. I got my rubber bands from Dollar Tree. I don't see the point of going to, you get 500 in this pack. I don't see the point of going and paying a ton of money for some rubber bands. Like, I looked at my drugstore and they were like $5 for 70. I'm like, I don't think so. It just needs to hold some mesh in place. So Dollar Tree is the perfect place. Dollar General, wherever. Whichever one of those you want to do. All right, we're going to do our next row. I'm done folding for the moment. That way we can get this all completed. I hope everybody can still see. All right, so we're at white. We're going to go to blue. Again, make sure all of your petals are going. You can do scoop side up, but I'm doing the scoopy side down. So this side is to the top. So we're on our ice blue. We're going to use our gray ribbon. It's already cut, so fold it in half. And then you see, so how it kind of makes a crease. You don't want to like hold it. And then just kind of scrunch it up from there. Make sure your points are even. And just lay it right on top. And this is where the rubber band comes in handy. Because see, I'm holding my rubber band. I'm holding that mesh. And I can feel that zip tie. So then I just kind of put the zip tie right where the rubber band is. And then all of these end up being in the same location. Okay? Office.
Candace Thompson says love it.
Thank you, Candace. I hope everybody likes it. It's just, it's a pretty design. It's pretty colors.
Dana Dawn says, I don't think there's a live when something doesn't go missing. Something going wrong. It's the best of alive. It's the beast of alive, sorry.
Dana, I think they should have live bloopers. I think that would be hilarious. If one, because everything disappears, or I hear these horror stories where people are like, oh, the phone fell on my head, or it fell down and it did this. And can you imagine if, like, at one of the live craft conventions, somebody just put all of these bloopers together of all of us trying to do this live? Oh, here's our first live, and she lost everything. Oh, yes. We won't even go there. So my husband just made a comment. I was watching a live the other night with another lady that I watch. And right in the middle of the live, one of the people were like, hey, did you feel that? Now, she lives out in California, and there was an earthquake. I kid you not. An earthquake. Can you even imagine being in the middle of your live and an earthquake goes off? No.
Leanne Perkins says, my first time. This is beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Leanne. This is my first time, too. So we could be first-timers together.
Is that a 1.5 inch ribbon?
It is a 1.5 inch ribbon on this one. If you want to just do this whole design, just like how I'm doing it, but you want to do the tree with just ribbon, no deco mesh, you can do it just the ribbon. Do it with 2.5 inch ribbon. Then it's gonna be a little bit fuller, and it's gonna cover the board completely. You won't have to worry about anything. Like I said earlier, I kind of wanted my deco mesh to kind of poke out the bottom of my ribbons to kind of give it that little extra sparkle. But yes, you can do it either way that you want to. Okay, we're going to pop this one right on up here. This is the last one on this row. There's your white. And we're going to, with our white, we're almost done.
Cheryl Blockinger just tuned in, first time seeing you.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you? It's okay. it's my first time going live. So thank you for tuning in. I really, really do appreciate it.
Judy Holder, very pretty.
Michelle and I from Past and Present Presents was going to do a double live, and for some reason Facebook today decided they weren't going to allow that. So
Judy Holder says very pretty. Brandon Morris, love it.
So I'm just going to tighten these up real quick. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Brandon.
Sharon Quinn, I love this. It's beautiful. First time watching from Ballston Spa, New York.
Wow, from New York. I'm from Florida. If anybody doesn't know, I'm sitting in Gator country. Do not hold that against me. I am not a Gator fan. I'm going to let y'all know. My husband's going to stop helping me in the background, as he is a huge one. And I'll be surprised if my daughter doesn't jump on here, as she is an alumni, and she's going to start yelling at me too.
She's a mass.
Okay, so we've got on to our next row. I've already read. We're at 4 right here. I have enough to complete this one, I believe.
Brenda from Pennsylvania is a first timer.
Hi, Brenda.
Judy Russell's first timer seeing you. Beautiful colors.
If you're wondering what I'm doing real quick, guys, I'm looking for... I know, it's horrible.
Esmond is first time watcher from Texas.
Oh, cool, Texas. Michelle is in Texas.
Miss
Monkey.
Hello.
Okay, so this is exactly what I used. Okay, so this is the ribbon that I got, and I got it from Joann's. So since mine has up and disappeared, because I had already cut, see how this one's 25 feet instead of the normal 30 feet? I had already opened a roll and made sure that I had cut plenty, but again, they have disappeared. So I'm going to cut the remaining probably 6 that we need, and then y'all can see exactly what I was doing, okay? So we're going to go ahead and open up our mesh. I mean our ribbon. We're not meshing it. All right.
Allison Lockwood, Australia.
Australia?
Hey, you got North Carolina.
That is so awesome, from Australia.
Patty Chambers is the first timer.
All right. So we're going to measure this out to 11 inches. I always put it on my 0 over here. Since we don't need a whole lot, I'm not going to use any of like the perfect tails or cut any cardboard or anything. I'm just going to cut a couple at 11 inches. Be done with it. Again, they're all going to be at 11.
Ginger says it looks like the trees from that movie.
What movie, Ginger?
Inspired.
Inspired.
Frozen inspired.
Oh, Frozen. Okay, we're not supposed to use the word frozen because, you know, that's a trademark. But it kind of is my thing behind this whole thing. On top of the fact of the whole trees in the North Carolina story I told you, I love the movie Frozen. So, as far as I'm concerned, you can't get any better. All right, so these are all cut at 11. And to me, this just looks like something like Elsa's Winter Wonderland or something. So it would be perfect for something like that. So I'm going to do these in 3s. See, they're all cut to 11. So for those of you that are just coming on, as this pin right there stopped working on me.
Is that not wired ribbon?
It is wired ribbon. It is. It is wired ribbon. Ha. All right. My pin stopped working. So we're going to make a little mark at 2 inches so that you can see it. Hold this up. Now you're going to take your scissors and see where I've kind of made a little mark. I don't know if y'all can see that little bitty red mark, how it's kind of, you're going to start there and you're going to cut straight up to this opposite corner. And that's going to give you that perfect little, okay? Make sure your other side is all together and nice and even. Lined up. Measure it out. You're going to do the same thing. Mark 2 inches. Make sure that your points are going to be the same way. You don't mark over here, because then when you cut, you're going to have opposite points. So you see again, there's my little mark, that little bitty red, and you want it always to be something very, very very light, because you don't want it to show up on somebody's wreath sitting on their door and they come call you and ask you why you got this red mark. So you're going to start there and you're going to cut straight up at a diagonal to the corner.
Patricia's from Ohio. She says you're doing great and it's a beautiful tree.
We're from Ohio. My husband's from Ohio. So this is how this... And then we're going to cut the other 3 real quick, and that should get us done with that.
Dennis from Wisconsin says hi.
Hello from Wisconsin. FYI, I really, really, really love people in Wisconsin, because for some reason, that seems to be the only people buying my stuff on Etsy. Wisconsin and Michigan. Might have something to do with this board. Alright, so I've marked it. We're going to do the same thing. Take it from the 2 inches and go straight up to the corner. And the same thing on this side. Make sure it's good and lined up. Take it from that 2-inch mark and go straight, hold up, straight up to the corner. Again, make sure you have some really, really good scissors. Mine are starting to get dull. My husband's going to have to sharpen them for me. All right, see how they're all going in the same direction? All right, and we're going to set that over there. And while we're doing it, we'll go ahead and do the last of the other ones. Okay. Make our little mark to get those cut. And then we won't have to worry about the ribbon anymore. I'm going to start at our 2-inch and go straight up to our point. And we are almost done. To our other side.
We got a Dayton, Ohio, a Zanesville, Ohio.
I know where Dayton, Ohio is. My husband may know where the other one is. Where are you from?
Urbana.
He's from Urbana. All I know about Ohio is there's a really, 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 really good chocolate company up there. And
it's West Liberty.
And where?
West Liberty.
That's in West Liberty. He's behind me. Marie's Candy. OMG. He introduced me to those when we were first married, and he told me to get them for my mother-in-law for Christmas, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I didn't want to give it to her. I wanted to keep them for myself. All right, so those are all cut. We're going to jump back over because we're so close to being done. Okay. I'm going to turn this the other direction. Just because I can't even see anymore. And y'all, there. Can y'all see now? We're going to turn it sideways. Let's do something different.
Michelle suggested that a while ago, by the way.
You're just now telling me Michelle said to turn it sideways? Thanks, Michelle. He said he's just now telling me. I'm a slow learner. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with our opposite color. See how this one's white? So we're going to go blue. Get our ribbon. It's okay, because the next one I'll be at the other table, and he can't get me to go away from it. Grandkids won't be coming over. Of course, it's okay, Michelle. One of them is not too much older than Bean. They would have had a good old time having a live together. Okay, so that's in, and we're just going to zip tie it. Shut right there. Go to our next color. Fold this over. Scrunch it. Fold it down. Make sure your points are good and even, guys. If not, go back and fix them like I just had to do. Line up your rubber band with your zip ties, basically. Hold it in place. Close it. Just like that. Gonna do this other one. Now remember, you've got lights in here. So I kind of, on this one, I made sure that, see how this light, I kind of stuck it underneath my zip tie for a little bit, just to make sure that it's gonna be secure. I don't want anybody's lights falling out on them. Okay. Time for a gray. Any other thing, honey? They're just chit-chatting. See? Now look, I almost did that the wrong way. Caught myself. It would have been noticeable, I promise you.
And for Myrtle Beach is here.
Hi from Myrtle Beach. I'm from Florida.
I apologize if I've missed any mine.
So sorry, guys. Again, for anybody that's just joining me, hi. Thank you for being here. It is my very, very first live ever. And anything and everything that could go wrong has. I'm not going to kid you. It was supposed to be a dual live with Miss Michelle. I'm winging this. I've never done one of these. Didn't have a chance to set up my computer so I would be able to read comments because I figured with Michelle being with me, I'd be able to do it that way. So it ended up being a tutorial. And I now have my wonderful husband reading off things to me. And Michelle and Rose and everybody else basically has been answering questions for me.
And so sorry if I'm double answering questions. Michelle's trying to help. And Rose. And everybody else.
Yes, Michelle is being very good about trying to answer questions. She's good like that. So is Miss Rose.
Candace says so pretty. Can't wait to see it when it's done.
Thank you, Candace. It's almost there.
Teresa Britt, hi from Florida.
Hi, Teresa. Where are you at in Florida? I need a crafting buddy. There ain't nobody near me. Of course, you know what my husband just heard just then? Dollar signs going off. Me with somebody shopping.
Deborah wants to know what you're making.
Deborah, I am making a Trisha, well, it's not really a Trisha flower, but it is a Trisha petal, basically, tree. Using the Unique in the Creek triangle board. It is a matching set to the Trisha flower that I did earlier in the week. When I post this, if y'all want to go to my page, it's you can either go to me, Kathleen Dadlow, or you can go to Easy Breezy Creations. You will be able to see all of my designs, but I will be posting a picture of these two side by side.
Bernadette says hello from Scotland.
From Scotland, Scotland?
Yeah.
OMG, hello from Scotland. Now I really feel like totally intimidated. Wow.
Trisha says very pretty. Michelle says Rose is nothing but trouble. Ha ha ha.
We all know Rose is trouble.
Sharon says beautiful. Angie is saying you're doing a great job. Well, thank you from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Right, so we're putting it right down in here again. Thank you, everybody. I can't read all the comments. Thank you for saying I'm doing a good job because I don't feel like it, but I appreciate it. Now I understand and have a total new respect for anybody and everybody that does lives. I'm not going to kid. It's insane. All right, so I'm going to tighten this up real quick. So remember me telling y'all just a few minutes ago how like the world has disappeared in here? Like I have lost everything since I walked into this room.
So Samantha and Ginger are fighting to be your craft buddy. They want you to pick both of them.
Ginger, sister-in-law Ginger?
Yes.
And Sam who?
Your
My niece Sam?
Yes.
Sam, you're going to have to move from Texas and come to Florida if you want me to be your crafting buddy. But hey, Miss Monkey is out there in Texas. She'll probably craft with you.
What size zip ties?
8-inch. 8-inch zip ties.
You're up to 137 button people, buddy.
Okay. Can you hand me that ice blue mesh right there?
Here?
Yes. All right. So remember me telling.
I know what that is.
That was scary that you knew what that was. So remember me saying things disappeared in here. So you see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have lost 8 pieces of mesh in this room somewhere that are probably going to jump out here eventually and attack me. I don't know where, so we are going to cut 8 pieces of mesh. 4 and 4. Thank goodness I had extra.
Joy
I need
says,
you to do me a favor.
Joy says nobody knows. It's doing great.
Can you go get me my roller? The white roller. You know what's funny is he knew exactly what I meant. He knew it. All right, so we've got 3 and 3. So real quick, while he is going to get my little rolly gun, we will cut one more piece of this because we're going to need it. I need 11 inches. Look, I found one of them. Ha! Ha ha ha. No, we don't. They're starting to reappear everywhere.
Sam says you move here.
I don't want to move there, Sam. All right. So you can cut this one of 2 ways. Because all of your edges are going to be basically folded in, you don't have to worry about fray. Okay? So, you can use this rolly gun, this little roller cutter. You can cut it with scissors, however you want to do it. We just need 4. Makes it go really, really fast. Yes. Are you holding that for me? Because I don't have any of my stuff in here. I don't have my mesh holder or anything. He is the best, guys. Y'all should all have a Greg. Okay, 4. Throw that to the side. We're going to do the same thing with the white real quick. And then we'll fold those and we will finish up this beautiful design. Guess what we're not going to teach y'all to do tonight? Which is what Michelle wanted me to do. Because I know it's getting late and I've kept y'all on so much longer than I anticipated because of this. I have pre-made my bow. Sorry, Michelle. Maybe next time.
I don't know if you'll be able to watch this later.
Yes. You will be able to watch it later. And I'm also, once this is all said and done, it will not be a live, but it'll be more like a tutorial video on how to make the bow that I'm putting on the top of this. Since I made it in advance, I will make another one to show you exactly what I did and the steps I took in order to create it. So you'll be able to watch the live video and the tutorial video on my webpage at the easybreezycreations.com. It's the one. Okay, let me back that up. We're in the process of changing our names. We've always been Daddalo's Dazzling Decor. That's what we've always been. And then somebody else took that name. So we went with the Easy Breezy because my middle daughter's name is Bree. And I always call her Breezy. So if you go to find me, it may be under Daddalo's Dazzling Decor. Because Facebook one day has it correct and the next day incorrect. So I apologize for that. If you can't find me. Okay, mesh. Fold it down to your triangle. We're going to fold over. I'm doing this quickly because I know y'all want to be done. I know you do.
Says, where can we watch it? Michelle asked to spell the site.
Which one? Daddalo's Dazzling Decor or the Easy Breezy Creations? Okay. Easy Breezy is just like that. It's EASYBREEZY Creations. CREATIONS. Or, if Facebook is in one of its rampages, because my Etsy page, my Instagram page, everything under the world has that. And some days, so does Facebook. Otherwise, it would be Daddalo, which is my last name that's popped up here. D as in dog, ATTILO. Dazzling, DAZZLINGS. Dazzling, no S, sorry. DICOR. Dazzling Decor. Yeah, sorry. See, look what happened.
DICORS.
Is it Decors?
No.
DATTILO. Daddalo. Dazzling, Dazzling, Decor, Decor. Yeah, I knew I was right. Okay, almost done. Look, I broke it. Sorry, guys. Again, I had all of this done. Now, on this one, you see how I'm struggling a little bit? And they're not lining up? Because I didn't realize it till after I cut it. This was not 10-inch mesh. It was 12-inch mesh. So I'm making it work. It's a little bit off. It's okay. Because once I scrunch it, it still makes the same fold. So everything that's basically not together is all of this that's down here that I'm going to be cutting off. If you're seeing that I'm struggling now. So you can use 10-inch or 12-inch. Had I known this was 12-inch mesh, I'd have done 12 by 12 and then just made my petals smaller, like cut off all the tails, just to make it easier for me to get to. But I didn't realize it because I don't ever buy 12-inch mesh. So this must have been something that I just grabbed at the last minute somewhere. So now I have this 12-inch mesh. So again, it will work. You just have to kind of line it up a little bit different, okay? So instead of it lining up perfectly at the bottom down here, see how you're going to kind of let this go over a little bit so that when you scrunch, you get all of those ends tucked in and you don't have any frays. All right. Cut off my ends.
Sam wants to know if she can buy an A.
Can she buy what?
An A.
An A?
We were saying all the letters.
Oh, no, Sam. You cannot. You just lost your $1 million. Smart butt. Same thing with this one. Where this 12-inch mesh came from, I don't know. But I'm going to shoot myself for getting it. Again, it will work. You just have to not be perfect on your ends. You're just going to have to let your ends kind of lay over.
Michelle says she's very proud of you, by the way.
Michelle, if you lived closer, you and I would have a conversation. Thank you for being proud of me, but if you lived closer, we would be having a conversation.
You hit 151 for people right away.
All right. 3 more, and we're putting this wreath together, and we're going to be done, and y'all are going to be like, why, oh, why, oh, why did I just sit through all of that? No, I'm just kidding. I do appreciate it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. See how, because it's 12 inches, how you've got this off? So don't worry about it. Take the part that's like less right here, the underneath right here, and use that point to guide by. Same thing over here. Use that point. So you're going to have all this extra down here. That's okay. Don't worry about it. And just scrunch to the side. It's all going to get caught up in here. So you can, if you make a mistake like me, and you accidentally buy a 12-inch mesh, you can still make it work. They all still look the same. It just makes it a little bit easier. You don't make that perfect square when you're putting it together. But it still makes, here, your little scoop. Here's your little.
Amanda asks, this is your first time. You're doing great.
Thanks, Amanda. And yes, it is my very first time.
Michelle says you can't blame her. It's Facebook fault.
It is Facebook. I don't like Facebook right now, Michelle. But I'm going to tell you, I know this is my first time, and I've wanted to do it for a while, but I'm gonna lie, I'm a big scaredy cat of coming out of my comfort zone. But I have watched Michelle and Rose, and like I was saying, Lori, Kat, Miss Monkey, and they basically have just told me to talk to people as if like it's girlfriends out having a good time. And I watch them doing that. And that's basically what I was trying to do until I had to turn my phone down and I couldn't see what anybody was saying anymore.
Brenda Butler says, new to watching your lives.
Hi, Brenda. It's okay that you're new to watching my live. I do hope that you come and do it again, as this is my very first one. And I hope to do another one with Michelle. But Rose, I don't know if Michelle told you earlier, because she told me not to, because she said that you would get a big head. But I told her, Miss Rose, that you are the one that got me watching Michelle. That you told me how the different techniques that she did. And it was more like some of the stuff that I was doing. So that got me to watch Michelle. I'm glad I did, because I love her, and y'all together are so funny. I swear, like I said, I wish we lived closer. I bet we could be amazing friends. Okay, we are finishing this, guys. I've made all of the petals. It is time. Who's ready to be done? So we're right here. We've got the blue. We've got the white. We're going back to the blue. Okay.
Teresa's asking, what are the rubber bandy things you're using?
The rubber bands, you can either cut your mesh and put them directly into here. Like you could cut it and put it right in if you're just making the petal. But I have found that when you are adding anything to it, whether it be a ribbon or maybe some picks, that if you put the rubber band in, you see how I can just set it in there and not have to worry about it? Then you can add whatever you want to and not worry about your mesh unraveling.
She said they look clear.
They are clear. They're like a clear white rubber band. And the reason I went with those, I got them from the Dollar Tree, is that they had colored ones, they had black ones, they had brown ones, they had pink ones. But I went with these clear ones right here so that I could use them on any mesh that I wanted to. All right, so let's tighten these up. Let's get this done. I know all of y'all want to be done. I want to see this creation completed. Moving right on to the next, we are going to go white up on this one. Okay. Put your blue right on top of the white. Come on. Like so. And like I said, they like to fight you sometimes, especially when I'm battling with the fact that I now have lights under this too. Zip that close. This one's a perfect example of what I was talking about, that the ribbons may want to move. It's okay. You'll go back and you'll fix them all later. It's not a problem.
Teresa wants you to show the rubber bands again.
Oh, sure. Here's the rubber bands, Teresa. They're from the Dollar Tree. You can get these clear rubber bands anywhere. You can get them at the drugstore, Walmart, wherever. I chose to get them at the Dollar Tree because, as you can see, you can get 500 of them for $1. And when I went to the drugstore right by my house, I won't say which one, but when I went there, it was like $4.83 for 75 of them. So you can kind of see the math is not going to work out for me. Go right into our next one. Fix our ribbons. Here we go, guys. I can hear it crinkling underneath me. Oops. Look, I almost made a mistake. And there was nobody here to stop me. So we've got white, blue. We're going to go white, do the turquoise. Lay it right across the top. You can fluff them right now if you want to anyway. Remember, we've already ran all of our lights through. We did that earlier, so I don't have to run it through over here on the end.
Megan's back on.
Megan was probably getting her kids to sleep. Hi, Megan. I know, Megan, it's taken forever. I lost my ribbons. I lost my mesh. I'll move the bed, and I'm sure I'll be there. All right, last 4. We're now on the blue. Who's all as excited as I am that this is almost done? You get to see what it looks like. I cannot wait. What?
Oh, you asked a question.
Were you giggling?
No.
My husband's picking on me. Like, he just took what I said, I think, as a, who's glad that I'm almost done. Like, in a bad way. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of glad I'm almost done.
How many rolls of ribbons and mesh did you use?
If you don't lose your mesh, the answer to your question is, hey, look what I just found. Told you I'd find it. Knew it.
Sky just came on.
Who's on?
Sky.
Sky. Hi, Susu. All right. So anyway, sorry, that's my niece, and I don't ever get to really speak to her. So when I see that she's on, it kind of warms my heart a little bit. Anyway, mesh. I used 1 roll of the white 10-inch and 1 roll of the ice blue 10-inch cut in 10 by 10 squares. The ribbon is the same way. 30-foot rolls of ribbon. You will need 1 roll of each color that you choose, and I cut mine to 11 inches. And the reason I did that, because I know most people do 12-inch ribbons, is because I was cutting the petal to 4 inches. So if you cut a 12-inch ribbon and you've got 5 inches, overhang over this 4, you're not going to see this peeking out at all. So there was a method to my madness on that one. Last 2.
Janice Larson said you did awesome tonight.
Thanks, Janice.
Guy says hi, love. Bree's back from Mass.
Bree, I hope Mass was great. I'm sorry that I've been on so long that you got to go to Mass and back again.
She said it looks beautiful.
Last 2 ribbons.
Kathy Gray says, hey, you're a step ahead of another wreath.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Kathy. Sorry, I thought he said Jackie. My husband's reading these comments to me because I can't see. Last one. And it's okay because you see how this mesh is right here? All this is kind of off the side. You're not going to see that. And if you do, I've taken my hot glue gun and I've taken and put a dab of glue right here just to hold all these little pieces of mesh in, because you don't want it hanging out the side or anything. But once I'm all done, I'll go back in and adjust all of my ribbons. So it's fine. It's all good. All of that's right there. Okay. Last one there. This is, here, let's turn it on. There's the board, there's the tree. I'm going to hold it up here in just a minute. But what I wanted to show y'all, see right here on the back of this board? See right here. There's these 2 little holes right here. This is where you will hang it from, right here. So you can put your zip tie through, and I usually, again, do that at the beginning. So you'll put it through.
Bree said, glad to see you fared well without her help.
Without Bree's help? Oh, Bree, you don't even want to know. I made Greg. Your dad is in the room reading me comments. So take it back through this hole right here.
Janice, Charlene, and Teresa all say beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful.
Now, I will have a picture of this I'll post. I'm going to show y'all real quick, the bow. It's not going to be all full yet. But this is how you hang it. We're coming up, guys. Hi, everybody that's heard my voice. So this is your tree. Hangs right there. Now you see we don't have anything on top yet. I have done the trees where I put whatever topper you want on it. You want silver, you can put silver, like a tree, actual tree topper. I have created a bow. Remember, like I said, I will be doing basically a live tutorial. Not a live. No more lives tonight. But the bow, you just put through the top, one of your top 2 holes. Turn it around like this. See how I just put it through the top 2 holes? And I've got mine. And you're just going to pull it. You can either do it there, or you can take it all the way to the top. Now some people, because my bow is going to be really, really full, I don't want it all the way to the top. I'm going to put mine right there. Because this extra trim that you see right here, you're not going to see. It's going to be hot glued down, and the bow is going to cover all of this. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do my little twist to hold that in place.
Where do you get your ribbon? Hobby Lobby.
I get my ribbon from basically, I'm not one of those that get a lot of it offline. And I'm going to tell you it's because I'm very, very impatient. Know that any of y'all know that about me, right? But I'm very, very impatient. And I like instant gratification. So I go to Hobby Lobby. I go to Michael's. Any of the places like that. And that's where I get my stuff from. Because I want to be able to grab it, get home, and create whatever it is that I want to create right then and there. Okay? So, I'm not going to do the bow yet because I'm going to do that later. But you see how you can still see the edge of the board right here? That's where I'm going to go in and I'm going to fluff out my ribbons a little bit. That's what I'm talking about when you go in and you adjust. Because once you're all done and you adjust all of your ribbons, that's going to take up and cover the side of your board. So now you're no longer going to see those edges. And it gives it that nice, real pretty, see what I'm doing? That nice, real pretty Christmas tree effect. Now, do y'all want me to go ahead and fluff the bow so that you can see it? Or would you like for me to just take a picture of it later? It's totally up to you.
Yes, they would.
You want to see it? Okay. So we're going to go ahead. What I've basically done is kind of like a Trisha bow in a way. So I've got the long string. I'm going back down. I can't fluff a bow from top. Sorry. You're going to have to go down.
Also fluff it.
Okay.
Heck yeah, fluff that bow.
Heck yeah, fluff the bow. Okay. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it pretty well? Hopefully.
I see those colors would make a beautiful angel. Everybody's saying fluff.
Okay, we're going to fluff. So, you got your tail here. So, my loop is at 5 inches on the other side. So, they're going to go opposite. Okay? So, then you've got like this. Okay? So you basically want a catty corner. Tail, tail, loop, loop. Now I always make mine long because to me the philosophy is if it's long and I need to cut it to make it look right, that's one thing, but I can't add ribbon when I'm all said and done. Okay? So now since we have here, that's going to be a loop. You want a tail coming up. Now I already know that this tail is going to have to be cut. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
Rose says she's off to bed. Can't wait to see your next live.
And then we're going to go right there. And then we're going to need to go.
Say goodnight to Rose.
Good night, Rose. I love you.
Michelle says, oh my God, the ribbon.
All right. Again, like I said, I know these look long while y'all are looking at it. See, these are really, really long to be for the top, but I will trim them. Again, I like to cut mine extra long. I usually do 8-inch tails because then I can always go back and trim afterwards, but I cannot add. All right, so then see how we've got tail here? You're going to go loop. Basically, all you're going to do is alternate. So that means since you've got loop here, the tail's going to go that way. Okay? Which means that this tail needs to go this way.
Michelle says you can always curl the tail also.
Yes. And I do that usually on the bottom, Michelle. I curl the tails. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got this really pretty silver that y'all have not seen yet. Love this ribbon. How pretty is that? Oh, gorgeous. You want to talk about icicle. That is an icicle waiting to happen. Okay, so this is coming up right about there. And then we've got this one. And I don't know about y'all, but I really do talk to myself when I'm doing these things, because I like to make sure that I'm putting them where they go. Okay, so that one's going up. Then we've got this one. This real pretty. That brings all of the colors that we've just used together. Okay, so we need to go. Now I'm going to tell y'all, this one is not wired. If you're making a bow and it's in the inside, you can put a non-wired ribbon in there, because the other ones are going to keep it in place. And then we're going to just alternate like that.
Michelle says the back one is her favorite.
The back one.
The back ribbon, I guess.
This one? I don't know. All right, and then we've got the one right here on top. Alternate. Like so. This is going to come down like that. And whenever I do my bow, I always make a center loop, like a little centerpiece. So it kind of gives it a 3-fold. I'll show you what I mean. Now, I have not trimmed this yet. Sorry, it's not trimmed. But I will give you an idea of the look, because I always have to hang mine. I have to hang mine to do my bow. I know it's something that I learned from Miss Monkey. I'm sorry, but I just do. But this will be, we're going up again. Are we ready? Hi again.
Dana says I custom myself making bows.
All right. So, granted, remember, the tails are really long, so they are not completely done. But imagine this tail basically here, so it's not sticking out of the top. And this tail kind of here. And this one in. And these curled. Because that's what I will end up doing. What do y'all think? Yay, nay? Does that work? Do we love it?
Phyllis says, love, love, love. Loretta says, hi, everyone.
Okay. Any questions now that I can see it and now y'all know who I am?
Oh, I can leave.
You can leave now, honey.
Thank you.
Gotta love my husband. Anything that I can answer. I will post a picture. Again, once I've got all the tails trimmed, but I'm one of those that have to hang it on a wall, like on a hook, and step back and adjust the tails accordingly. I can't do it like down. Cool. Thank y'all so much. Again, I appreciate it. It was my first live. It was kind of thrown at me, a little bit scary. But I appreciate everybody watching. And I will, hopefully you can go like my page. It's easybreezycreations.com. Again, I was explaining earlier, some days it's that. And then other days you have to find it under Dattalos, DATTILOS, Dazzling, DAZZLING, Decor. Because Facebook likes to just change names on us periodically since we changed names. So thank you so much. Or you can go to my actual page, Kathleen Dattalo, and I will be able to put all the links to our pages on it. And if you have any questions and I missed anything, I will gladly come back in and answer them for you. Okay? Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.